Hands up if you've gone back to school this half term. You enjoying it? Is it strange? Is it good to see your friends again? What about the rest of you? If you're still working at home, is that hard? Are you finding some things that you enjoy to do? I hope so. But whether you're at home or at school, whether you're enjoying it or finding it difficult, I hope that you will enjoy today's Tuesday Club.
Good evening, Tuesday Club. Welcome back. I hope you're ready to get all warmed up. Let's stand up and we're going to make some space for ourselves. So spread out your arms very nice and wide and make some space. Good job. Give yourself a jiggle so that you're ready. Very good. And we'll stretch up as high as you can go to the ceiling and back down to the floor and up again as high as you can go and back down to the floor. Very good. And spin your arms, warm your arms up nicely, and can you go the other direction? Very good. Nice. And both forwards, both backwards. Can you do opposite directions? Very good. Nice, Tuesday Club. Okay, and we'll do some star jumps ready. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good job. And let's see if you can jump. Make yourself a little mark in front of you. How close can you jump to the screen and how far can you jump? So jump really close and really far back and forwards again. Jump and jump backwards. Very good. Now let's stretch our legs. Just balancing on one leg and on the other leg. Very good. Good job, Tuesday Club. Give yourselves a wriggle and sit yourselves back down.
Well, good evening, Tuesday Club. It's good to be with you again this evening. I'm just here to say that I'm not doing the singing this week. Lucy's doing the singing. She'll be up in a minute. I will be back later with another song and the story of a Christian man who made a real massive change to our world. Also, we've got the second memory verse from Holiday Club. Do you remember what that one is? Well, you get a reminder later on. Great. So let's get going. And here's Lucy. No, here's Lucy.
Hi boys and girls. Time for some singing. So, last week I loved the throwback to this year's Holiday Bible Club. So I thought, why not go even further back? We'll go back a few years and sing a song that we did, which reminds us that God is our Father in heaven and to pray to him. So, some weird actions in this one. You'll need one of these. An earthworm trying to do press-ups. Bit weird, not going to happen. You'll also need a potato trying to swim. It's obviously just going to sink, not going to work. You're also going to need a mountain trying to brush its teeth. Bizarre. I don't think that would work. Anyway, let's give the song a go and see if you can get those actions in. Father, you are King of heaven and greater than us all. Everything is in your hands, from huge right down to small. Sometimes I forget that I can't do things on my own. Please now help me pray to you and trust in you alone. another favourite of mine from Holiday Bible Club, and from a long time ago too. We're going to do God's map, the Bible. Some strange words, try and get them all in, get your teeth in, and let's sing it now. Well, you're gonna get lost, it won't take long if you don't take the map to kick it along. You'll be lost in the scrub as quick as can be if you don't take the map to up the gum tree. If we read God's word, we'll know the way to live for Jesus and obey. We'll only know the way to go if we read God's map, the Bible. It's a winding road, you're gonna get stuck if you don't take a map to chuck a sack of mud and head out back. You meet your match if you don't take a map to hack a back patch. If we read God's word, we'll know the way to live for Jesus and obey. We'll only know the way to go if we read God's map, the Bible. It's the same when you go to catch a dingo, or when you take the tram to Copperlilla, or when you want to be at the Elderberry. You can't go wrong if you take the map along. If we read God's word, we'll know the way to live for Jesus and obey. We'll only know the way to go if we read God's map, the Bible. We read God's word, we'll know the way to live for Jesus and obey. We'll only know the way to go if we read God's map, the Bible. Wow, excellent singing, boys and girls. I think we've got time for one more, and this one is fun. Loads of actions. We're going to click, we're going to clap, we're going to praise the Lord, and then we're going to do some zooming all over the room. We're going to sing, we're going to shout, and then we're just going to do it really fast. And we might even do it even faster after that. Make sure you follow along. Here we go. I'm gonna click, 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 I'm gonna clap, 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 I'm gonna click, I'm gonna clap and praise the Lord. Because of what He's done, I'm gonna make it number one. I'm gonna click, I'm gonna clap and praise the Lord. I'm gonna zoom, zoom, zoom around the room, room. I'm gonna zoom around the room and praise the Lord. Because of what He's done, I'm gonna make it number one. I'm gonna zoom around the room and praise the Lord. I'm gonna sing, sing, sing. I'm gonna shout, shout, shout. I'm gonna sing, I'm gonna shout and praise the Lord. Because of what He's done, I'm gonna make it number one. I'm gonna sing, I'm gonna shout and praise the Lord. I'm gonna click, click, click. I'm gonna clap, clap, clap. I'm gonna zoom around the room and praise the Lord. Because of what He's done, I'm gonna make it number one. I'm gonna sing, I'm gonna shout and praise the Lord. I'm gonna click, click, click. I'm gonna clap, clap, clap. I'm gonna zoom around the room and praise the Lord. Because of what He's done, I'm gonna make it number one. I'm gonna sing, I'm gonna shout and praise the Lord. Boys and girls, amazing work. See you next time. Bye.
Hey everyone, it's Jamie here, and we've got another memory verse for us today to learn, which is great. I'm really sorry about yesterday for the interruption that we had. Now I've been promised that that is not going to happen today. I'm really sorry about that. I think we need to go and see who that is again. Okay, come with me. Let's come and see who it is.
Delivery from Yodel!
Oh, okay. Here we go. It's another letter. To all HBCers. Should we go and find out what's inside?
It's a message. But what does it say? It's written in reverse. I think it says, "That is God your and God's of God." of Lord of Revealer, A and Mysteries, 47 to Daniel. I wonder if we can reverse it.
Let's use our reverser guns.
3, 2, 1, fire!
That's a lot better. That's the right way round. Let's read it together. Your God is the God of gods and the Lord of kings and a revealer of mysteries. Daniel chapter 2 verse 47.
What does mystery mean?
A mystery in the Bible isn't some puzzle that you have to solve, something very cryptic. It's just something that was hidden that has now been shown by God, God who knows all things. Let's learn that Bible verse now. Okay everyone, are you ready at home? Let's read it together. Your God is the God of gods and the Lord of kings and a revealer of mysteries. Daniel chapter 2 verse 47. Great job! Now we're going to make it a bit harder for you. We're going to block out some key word with some kiwis. Please put on the kiwis. Okay, are you ready? Let's say it together. Your God is the God of gods and the Lord of kings and a revealer of mysteries. Daniel chapter 2 verse 47. Great job. Okay, let's put on a couple more kiwis. Make it even harder. Okay, let's try it now. Are you ready at home? Say it together. Your God is the God of gods and the Lord of kings and a revealer of mysteries. Daniel chapter 2 verse 47. Let's go to Elijah for a recap.
Your God is the God of gods and the Lord of kings and a revealer of mysteries. Daniel chapter 2 verse 47. Now have a turn on your own.
So tonight at Tuesday Club we've got a quiz, and it's a true or false quiz. So you need to make yourself two little bits of paper, one that says true and one that says false. And if you get it right, you can press the "that was easy" button. Okay, you might need to pause if you haven't got your cards ready, but otherwise we're ready to start our quiz. Okay, so the first question. Owls cannot hear very well. Do you think that's true or false? You hold the card. Owls cannot hear very well. And it is false. Owls can hear really well.
That was easy.
Number 2. The sun only shines on half the Earth's surface at a time. Is that true or false? The sun only shines on half the Earth's surface at a time. And it is true.
That was easy.
Next question. The 10th letter of the alphabet is K. The 10th letter of the alphabet is K. Is that true or false? And it is false. The 10th letter is J.
That was easy.
Next question. The following... start again. UFO stands for Unidentified Flying Orbit. UFO stands for Unidentified Flying Orbit. Do you think that's true or false? Grab the card. It's actually false. It stands for Unidentified Flying Objects. Next one. The Empire State Building has 102 stories. So climbing up, there are 102 levels. Do you think the Empire State Building has 102 stories? Pick up your card. Is it true or false? And it's true. Fantastic. Well,
That was easy.
I didn't know either. You just have to guess on some of these. Next one. A compass always points south. A compass always points south. And it is false. A compass actually always points north.
That was easy.
Next one. Hermit crabs don't have their own shell, they borrow one. Hermit crabs don't have their own shell, they borrow one. Is that true or false? It's true. Yep, they borrow shells.
That was easy.
Next one. The moon's surface has no craters. The moon's surface has no craters. True or false? It's false. There are lots of craters on the moon.
That was easy.
Next one. The slowest mammal in the world is a sloth. The slowest mammal in the world is a sloth. And that one is true.
That was easy.
Next one. The last square on a Snakes and Ladders is 99. The last square on a Snakes and Ladders is 99. Have you got your card? Have you decided on the answer? And the answer is false. Yeah, it goes all the way to 100.
That was easy.
Next one. In the nursery rhyme, there are 2 blind mice. In the nursery rhyme, there are 2 blind mice. Pick up your card. Have you decided? It's false. Yes, there are 3 blind mice.
That was easy.
Next one. All the following contain a stone. Mango, peach, banana. All the following contain a stone. Mango, peach, banana. It's false.
That was easy.
And the last question for tonight. Giant earthworms can grow to 3 meters long. Giant earthworms can grow to 3 meters long. Have you got your card? And it is true. That means they're enormous. Fantastic. Hope you had a good quiz. Bye for now.
That was easy.
I think this is right. Here we go. So you got to do the echo. Are you ready? Here we go. God is a holy God. We can't be friends because of our sin. God is a holy God. We can't be friends because of our sin. Together. Jesus died to wash us clean. When we put our trust in Him, God opens His arms and welcomes us in. God opens His arms and welcomes us in. Okay, bit rusty I think. So, bit louder. Don't shout, just sing louder. Here we go. God is a holy God. We can't be friends because of our sin. God is a holy God. We can't be friends because of our sin. Together, Jesus died to wash us clean. When we put our trust in Him, God opens His arms and welcomes us in. God opens His arms and welcomes us in. Did you know, boys and girls, that just over 200 years ago, in this country and across what was called the British Empire, that was other parts of the world controlled by Britain at that time, just over 200 years ago, it was quite legal for you to buy and sell people as if they were property, as slaves. Now, if you owned a slave, you didn't have to pay them a wage for the work that they did. You just had to basically keep him or her alive. You gave them food and water and looked after their basic health needs, just like you would a working animal, like a horse, or maybe even a dog. Of course, slavery has been going on for thousands of years. We read about it in the Bible, don't we? About the Israelites being slaves in Egypt. It's thousands of years ago. And even a couple of thousand years ago in the New Testament, when Jesus was on earth, we read about people, you can read about people there who are described as being slaves. So it's nothing new, but slavery is very, very wrong. We read in the Bible, at the beginning of the Bible, that God made human beings, all people of all colours, in his image. Every human life is special, has value, and should be honoured because all people are made in the image of God. Now, you may have heard in the news, it's going on now, about the death of a black man in America who was being restrained by the police. It's very sad and wrong, but that has sparked a big protest all over the world now with the slogan Black Lives Matter. And they do. All lives matter. Now, you may be wondering why it is that there are so many black Africans living in America today. And the main reason for that is that their ancestors, great-great-grandparents, had been brought from Africa to America as slaves. Slave ships would go from Britain to various parts of Africa where people would be caught and loaded onto ships and then taken to the Americas, places like the West Indies. And there they'd be sold in slave markets and they'd be bought by plantation owners, landowners, who would then have them working on their land and gathering their crops. And some people became very rich, either directly from the slave trade, buying and selling slaves, or as a result of having slaves work for them, because you didn't have to pay them anything. They worked for nothing. Now, here's a rather shocking picture of an actual plan of a real ship. And it shows how they would try to cram in as many slaves as possible. Over 400 packed in with a maximum headroom of no more than 30 inches. So on that ship, this is the maximum amount of space that you would have had if you were under one of the beams supporting the floor above. Then you'd have even less space, but that's not even room to comfortably sit up in. And then you'd be packed in just side by side with other slaves, and you'd be in these conditions for the 2 months it took the boat to get from Africa to America. It's not surprising that many slaves didn't even make it. They died during the voyage. Now, as I said earlier, slavery is very, very, very wrong. And the slave trade was a terrible, terrible thing. So the person I want to tell you about this week is a chap by the name of William Wilberforce, because it's largely down to him that the slave trade was finally abolished in Britain and across the British Empire just over 200 years ago. William Wilberforce was born in the year 1759. That's 261 years ago. He was born in the town of Hull, which was up north in Yorkshire. Now, his family was fairly well off. They were honest merchants, nothing to do with the slave trade. They were merchants. And after William had finished school, he went to Cambridge University. Now, William, during his time at university, became interested in politics. And it came about that in the year 1780, he became MP for Hull, just at the age of 21. Now, at that time, William liked nothing more than parties and playing cards and doing other sorts of gambling. He loved that. But something happened on a trip around Europe with some friends 4 years later that changed his life. On that trip, he started reading a book with a friend. And the book's title was The Rise and Progress of Religion in the Soul. Very grand old style title, which basically meant when you come to trust in Jesus Christ, it has to make a change in the way you live your life. Now, William knew a bit about the Bible and Christianity from when he was younger, but at this time, God really changed him. William confessed his sins and came to trust in the Lord Jesus Christ, and his life really did change. Now, William saw that there were lots of things in British society, in the country as a whole, that weren't very good, and he wanted to change them. And one of those things was the slave trade. But being a Christian in politics, as it is today, was not very easy. It's very difficult. And he thought about giving up. But he was encouraged by Christian friends to keep going. Now, one of those friends was a chap by the name of John Newton. At that time, John Newton was the vicar of a church in London. But before, John Newton had been the captain of a slave ship. And he had taken thousands of slaves from their home in Africa to the Americas in those appalling conditions. But God changed him too. And he encouraged William to keep going and to try to abolish the evil slave trade, as Newton called it. John Newton also wrote a very famous hymn called Amazing Grace. You might know it, or you could look it up. So William, together with others, began campaigning to end the slave trade. It was hard work trying to change the way people thought. And at times it was also dangerous, because there were people that were going to lose a lot of money if the slave trade came to an end. For 18 years, William repeatedly brought to the House of Commons, the Parliament, ideas for legislation, motions as they called it, to abolish the slave trade. Eventually, in the year 1807, the slave trade was finally abolished in Britain and across the British Empire. But that wasn't the end of the work, because it was still legal to own a slave. You could still have slaves even though you couldn't trade them anymore. It took another 26 years before finally legislation, laws were passed in Parliament to free all slaves, to abolish slavery completely in Britain and across the British Empire. That was in 1833. And slowly things began to change in other countries too. They started to abolish slavery. Now, William Wilberforce was also involved in changing other things that were not very good in our country at that time. He was involved in setting up schools for poor people. Because if you were poor in those days, there were no schools, no way of being educated. And so he helped to start Sunday schools where poor people could be educated. He was also involved in the setting up of the RSPCA, Royal Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals. God changed William Wilberforce, and then God used him to get rid of the evil slave trade. Thank God for William Wilberforce.
Hi everyone, it's time for another scavenger hunt at home challenge. And you know the idea, I asked you to go and try and find as many objects of a certain type, certain kind of objects, as you can in 1 minute. And today I'm thinking of things, well, you know, some things, they're quite hard, aren't they? And other things are not. So today's challenge is to go and find as many things as you can which you can squeeze. Okay, squeezy things. Off you go. "30 seconds. "20 seconds. "10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stop! Bring back the things you found here. Okay, just put these things down. Oops, I'm dropping them everywhere. And yeah, so what did you manage to find, I wonder? I'll show you the things I found. I found a nice cushion. That's nice and squeezy. And this sponge from the kitchen. And I got a spiky ball, that's nice and squeezy too. And also the toothpaste from the bathroom here, that's nice and squeezy. And then I've got my teddy bear. Yeah, oh, it's nice and squeezy. Yeah, and yeah, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things. How many things did you manage to find? Did you beat me? Okay, never mind. We'll have another challenge another time, shall we? Bye for now.
And that brings us to the end of another Tuesday Club. I hope you enjoyed it and I hope you learned some good things. See you next week.